tryna get my dollar.
I'm just tryna get my dollar.
Itinye wakini my shoulder.
Itinye wakini my shoulder.
You are listening to Namibia's best radio station.
Hey, and it's a Monday
Moro.
morning. Moro vakwetu.
Moro.
That's saying Engels.
Kein klas.
Engels. Koffie.
Kein klas.
Ons gaan hierdie ding reg kry.
Ja.
Ons gaan dit reg kry. Sê weer.
Kein klas.
Kein klas.
Yeah, mo.
Engels.
Ja.
Klas.
Engels. Is goeiemôre. Engels. Daar sê Moro Mutatio, you are the first one. You are the winner for a weekend of 2 in Caribbean. That is where you are. A
Yes.
winner for a ticket of 2. Morning, all of you out there. Welcome once again to the Morning Mix. It is such a pleasure talking to all of you. It's been a great weekend.
Yes.
And Koffie? Sê gou vir my, hoe was jou naweek geweest?
My weekend was fantastic, Neville. But are you guys noticing it's getting colder in the mornings?
Aye.
Huh? Is winter like here?
I went to the gym this morning.
Ja.
En maar is koud. Ek is so 5 uur uit die huis uit vanoggend. And but it was cold. It was cold.
Aha.
It was cold. But I love winter. It's my favorite.
do?
Yeah.
I'm not a winter guy.
I'm a winter guy.
Is it?
Ja, ek hou nie van die son.
The sun, hot heat, mosquitoes,
Yes.
flies. Ek het die krag nie. Kom
Ek kan dit toe as 'n vleis wat niks wil hoor nie.
Hulle wil nie.
Hy sien jy slaan hom, maar hy dink wil ook nie dood nie. Ek
Ek
hoor
hoor
nie
hom
van
so van ver. Dit klink soos 'n it sounds like a truck coming from very far.
It's like, what's the difference between a mosquito and Chris Rock? A mosquito stops sucking when you slap it.
op my Chris Rock.
Ons gaan praat later.
Ons gaan praat.
We gonna
Ons
talk.
gaan praat.
Maar wat sou Chris Rock se naam was? Christian Mo. Christian.
Chris wie?
Christian mos as Chris Rock het damara was sy naam is Christian is.
Christian ja.
Op my Christian.
Oh my Christian.
Okay, so it is Monday. Shall we nominate Chris Rock as Mugu of the Week?
Oh, Will Smith. We don't know.
No, not Will. Will is top cheater.
Asseblief.
Will Smith is top cheater of the week.
We are getting into that discussion now. Ons moet hom hou vas.
Yes, okay.
Ons moet hom hou vas. Qini, salapanzi man. Mfowethu man. Wag J. She's on Palma. Qini is vroeg. Kampala. Koffie.
Yes.
As you say, there's a lot that you have for us
Yes,
in
I
the
do.
news this morning. So let's hear what you want to share with us.
Informanté News. Informanté News. Firm but fair.
This is Informanté Live, and these are our top stories. Despair, shock and disbelief are what Henties Bay residents are left with after a fire that erupted on Saturday not only burnt down the Spar supermarket, causing losses of 25 million Namibia dollars, but also led to the injury of 2 people. The Ronga police confirmed that a young man sustained serious injuries after he fell through the shop's roof while trying to assist the firefighters at the scene of the incident. He was rescued by the Henties Bay Fire Brigade and transported to the Cottage Private Hospital in Swakopmund. One of the firefighters also sustained injuries during the incident, and according to the emergency services, the firefighter was struck by a falling object during the damping down operations. He was then taken to hospital as well. The Ronga police are in search of 4 men who are suspected to be involved in a stock theft incident that took place at Harmony Farm in Okambai settlement in the Omaruru district. Eric Matthew Okturup and 3 others, only known as Michael, Fritz and Shandiza, are allegedly part of a group of men who unlawfully and intentionally slaughtered 3 cows valued to 50,000 Namibia dollars and drove off with the carcasses on the 17th of March. Okturup is also wanted for his alleged participation in another stock theft incident involving the killing of 40 animals that took place between the 13th and the 14th of March in Omaruru. And finally, the Ronga police have arrested 3 men in connection with housebreaking with intent to steal after they stole several items to the value of 541,800 Namibia dollars at a house in Omaruru. According to Ronga Deputy Commissioner Erastus Ikuyu of the Ronga Police, the incident happened between the 19th and the 20th of March at a house in Coulter Street, Omaruru. The suspects reportedly broke open the burglar bars of the kitchen window, gained entrance into the house, cut the safe open and got away with the jewelry, a camera, beam devices, and also tackies and clothes. Ikuyu said 3 adult male suspects were arrested on Thursday. Your Trustco share price today, the 28th of March, is at $1 Namibia dollars and 28 cents per share. Taking a brief look at the financial indicators, the Namibia dollar is trading against the US dollar at 14 Namibia dollars and 60 cents, against the euro at 15 Namibia dollars and 90 cents, and against the British pound at 19 Namibia dollars and 10 cents. This is Informanté Live, and these were our top stories. You can find more on our website, which is informante.web.na.
Informanté News. Informanté News. Informanté News.
This, and it is the 4th week of our Easter competition on Informanté Live. This week's competition is a photo shoot with compliments from AB Photography. You stand a chance to win a voucher to the value of 1,500 Namibia dollars for a photo shoot. All you have to do is type hashtag AB Photography in the comment section of the competition post on our Informanté Live Facebook page. This week's competition ends on the 30th of March 2022, and winners will be announced on social media.
I remember I got about a year or 2 ago, I got the opportunity somebody gave me a voucher for this type of photo shoots.
Okay.
And I remember the last photo shoot that me and my family did was probably, I think it's probably about 10 years ago.
No.
So, because I'm not a photo shoot type of guy.
Yeah, but you need to update that for your grandchildren one day. And their grandchildren. And
Ek hoor
daar
jou.
so sit Opa Neville.
Ek hoor jou. And mevrou, she likes doing that. Okay? So I've been dodging this photo shoot now for the last how many years? So for the last 2 years I've been dodging this photo shoot. But I hear what you say, Kofi.
Is ek en jy? Jy ken as jy in 'n verhouding ingaan, dan wil die mense hierdie matching outfit photoshoot.
Oh, ja,
Ek
ja.
dodge daai photoshoot
Yes.
my hele lewe.
No,
Dan
any
kry-
photo shoot, even at the weddings. I hate wedding photo shoots.
Nee.
Because, you always have the awkward boyfriend in the picture. Have you ever noticed? By trouwens, at weddings.
Awkward boyfriend.
You've got the awkward boyfriend or the awkward girlfriend scenario.
They were like an ex or what?
They don't want to be there.
Oh,
It's the family, but then the let's say another girl.
yeah.
Let's say you've got a new girl now.
Yeah.
So you've been introduced to the family. Now there's a wedding.
Yes.
You're not married to her.
Yeah.
whatever, but then you have to stand in the family picture. But you are not
With your
actually part
girlfriend.
of the family.
You're not,
Ek hoor jou.
I've been in that situation.
No, it's terrible. It's
Yeah.
terrible. Like you've got nothing to do with these people. You're just dating the daughter. Jy klof net 'n bietjie. Now you've got to stand there in the family photograph. And then you break up with her, and then they keep the photograph. And they try to cut you out with scissors and stuff.
Dat werk is so mooi nie.
I once went to a funeral.
Sorry net gou. Kofi laat sag bietjie op mic.
Oh, sorry.
Ek sien nie hierdie man nie.
Ja, ons moet plekke ruil. Hy's nou klein hierso.
Yeah.
Kanachi.
Okay,
Yeah,
dit is.
never,
die
never,
is
I
the-
went to a funeral. That
Da-
was the awkward
is-
thing of mine. It was a funeral.
Xavier?
Ik was bij begrafenis,
Huh?
the funeral, and I just started dating this girl. Sorry, it was just like three days in our supposed relationship, and then somebody had passed on in the family. She wanted me to go with her, like for emotional support. So I went. So the first thing is, in her head, she was like, ja, sê dat kan maar by haar ma goed sê. Ek moet daar gaan slaap. En ek is like, nee. Ek kan guesthouse kry of zoiets. So now her father went to go drop me and her at the guest house. I was just imagining what was going through his head that time. Nah, my kind wordt nou vanand. Er wil sy treur.
Hey. Ja.
Maar ik heb die chairs opgepakt toen die mensen klaar is met die funeral. Ik heb tenminste iets gedaan.
Je hebt iets gedaan.
Ja.
Mutatio Karstens, morgen. Joel, Amukeshe, goeiemorgen. Norma Guth, morgen. Shumbua Hamutenya, Mwalelepo na. Ja, onze ziso, onze zir. Kini, comedians seriously consider content. Otherwise, a Will Smith Shizam Pama will do a amapiano to your ears. Ita Sartel Moro. Jagan Kesep says, good. Well punching Chris morning. MMC. Aaron Ifene says, Chris Janamur. Vanessa says, good morning, everyone. Let's talk about Will Smith slapping the crap out of Chris Rock. Talk about choosing violence.
Yes.
Masha say, good morning, everyone. I hope the weekend was excellent and the week ahead a blessed one. Mutumba, Vanessa, wasn't that scripted? On Salul Prada or Trini says, Chris was very much insensitive to Jada. She has alopecia condition.
Yes.
And if you know the character G.I. Jones, then you get the context. Will did good by my book, said Trini. Vanessa says, Mutumba, I don't think so. At some point, the audio was even muted. Everyone was perplexed. Estomich say, morning, those two stole my Oscar's joy. Keep in mind how important beauty sleep is. Add to watching the show at 2 just to fall asleep after Will slapped Chris. Okay? Start the show, guys. That Namibian Will Smith of yours. What? No, we know. Oh, hell no. Never doing that. Meet your former in-laws took you and his daughter to a guest house. Yeah.
They were supportive.
So guys, let's quickly talk about this. So the Oscars happened last night or early this morning.
Yes.
Chris Rock went. He was obviously hosting the Oscars. Brilliant comedian. And then he made a joke which was directed at Jada Pinkett. I could not really catch the whole context of it, at first when I saw the videos filtering through this morning around 6 o'clock. And but I could see en ek het gesien Jada the cheese kop nou, né? Say the cheese kop. And I obviously didn't think much of it. I just said, wow, this is new. I've never seen her with a cheese kop. But then later, throughout the morning, somebody explained this to me, exactly what Trini was explaining here about this disease that she has.
Yes.
I thought, guys, that what made Will pissed off was that maybe Chris referenced to her infidelity or the fact that they have an open relationship. The fact that jy kan klof, ek klof, maar ons is we are husband and wife, finish and klaar. I thought that was the premise of what was happening there. So, and if that was the case for me, I would have defended Chris.
Right.
Because you live your life in a fishbowl. You decided to make your privacy public
Okay.
by talking about you guys having an open relationship, etc., etc., etc. Maar toe ek nou agterna hoor, nee, jy praat oor my vrou se siekte. So my position is, guys, as much as I love Chris Rock, you will not talk about my wife and my children in any derogatory way in front of me. Ek sal jou bliksem.
Daar sê.
Finish and klaar.
Me, I'm saying, Will wouldn't have done it to Ricky. What's that comedian name? He's such a offensive comedian, man. He does dark humor. It's Ricky Gervais or something.
Okay.
He also hosted the Oscars, and he was going at everybody. I think Will did it because he knew there was not going to be any backlash if he's smacking another black dude.
So it's a color thing now.
Yeah, I'm just saying, him smacking, that would have been a problem if he
So if
was
it was
gonna
two white guys smacking each other on
If
stage.
he was going to smack a white guy,
Uh-huh.
ons sal nou gehoor het van Will.
So it's
sal
a
die sê
colour
Oscar
thing.
kry nie.
So it's a color thing.
Ek sê net so,
I don't
he
bring
did
it
it,
up.
black on black
Ek
violence.
kom nie daar uit.
Ek kom nie daar uit nie.
Black
I
on
think
black violence
if
is
it would have been
acceptable.
any color guy, a white guy, a colored guy, a brown guy, a Chinese guy, Will would have still smacked him. I don't think there's any form of color in here.
Look,
He
can
got
you
up. Hy was in Muren. He got up. You will not speak to me about my woman like that. And kwab up.
Yeah, and it's cool.
Yeah, but
It's
then
cool.
Let's maybe just talk about this. And I always have this thing where I say, lose your temper, lose your life.
Aha.
Right? So Denzel Washington did go and console Will Smith in the break, in
Is
the
it?
commercial break.
Nee.
And Denzel Washington said to Will Smith, "The devil comes after you at your highest moment." Because you won the Oscar. Wow. That's the thing, right? So let's maybe just discuss this. If somebody would speak to me about my Zelly or my children like that, there'll be no stopping me. Never. There'll be no stopping me. Okay. But, you've got to be aware, and I think that is where also Will Smith, when he received the Oscar, why he was so incredibly emotional.
He
about
was
this.
crying, eh?
Because it was the height of his career going hand in hand with probably one of its biggest lows at the same time. Okay. Now you've got to remember, now it's going to be an assault charge. The police are going to get involved.
No.
It's going to have to go to court. And we are all saying, Ahman, it's a schoolyard fight. Just stand up and own up, and you've said something bad, just take your hiding and get over and done with. Finish and club. But it is an assault case.
There would have been
Mitch?
there would have been an outcry and some punishments if, like I said, Will Smith was smacking a white guy on that stage. Like he's only said Oscar.
Wag. Ek wil
I'm
hierdie
just
story
saying.
hoor.
Kanye West was banned from the BET Awards
Why?
for taking. It's the BETs.
When
It
he
was
took the mic from
What's the girl's name?
and
And then, there would have been some sort of consequences that he was going to face, but Will still went on to get his thing. And Will, again, who fool means word die goed aan nie.
Okay, Mitch, please try and make me understand what is your position here and take it slow so I get exactly what you are telling me. So Will Smith goes on stage, he smacks a guy
At a watch
who he feels aggrieved about what this guy said about his wife. Okay?
And that was not even that insensitive.
Okay.
Golden Globes have been and Oscars have been.
Let's talk, and we'll have a 1-2 conversation here. So
the first drawer in it. That's it. The first drawer there in the office.
So you don't see anything wrong
Yeah.
that this guy said something sensitive about this other guy's wife.
Yeah.
You see nothing wrong with it.
You know, when Chris Rock was found cheating on his wife, Kevin Hart all these comedians, all these actors, they started making fun of him. And he was talking about his porn addiction and all that. They made fun of him. They made fun of his wife. And now Will does it on the award show. And he gets to be smacked, and it's just Will doesn't face any consequences. And in fact, like, that woman publicly, like, embarrassed Will so many times.
But Mitch, the issue here has got nothing to do with the infidelity of Jada. This has to do with what this man said about this guy's wife's illness. That's what it's about.
And it's a joke. It's a joke.
Are
He
you
made
going to
it a
joke about my illness, about my wife's illness?
Grigi Gavies has been doing that. I'm saying he's been doing that, and nobody.
Can we focus on this specific issue?
Okay, cool. And that's why I was saying it's not a big deal, because he went on and smacked another black dude that was making the jokes.
A black dude.
It's another black dude, his brother. He smacked him, and he knows there's no
So
charges.
Kaufi, you're not my brother because you're white.
Okay. Well. There you lose a brother.
There you please. You know what I'm trying to say.
I don't get what you're trying to say.
Why was Kanye West banned and had to face some consequences? Because he took a mic from a person that won. Why wasn't anything done to Will that went up and smacked the host? So
why wasn't anything done to Will?
Yeah, why wasn't he told, no, you're not gonna get this, or you were banned from the next Oscars or what? Why wasn't it done?
Okay, ek hoor jou, my
I mean, Lady May flipped us off, and she lost an award. They took the money even.
Okay.
Except man,
ek hoor what you say.
Nevertheless, like, you come to my show and you probably have cancer, and I start talking nonsense about people that have cancer, and you know I'm a dark humor comedian.
Well, if you say something, kom ek sê jou so, Mitch. My wife has cancer. Let's go there. My wife has breast cancer. She lost both her breasts. She sits up front at a comedy show. Her head is shaven bald. Sy het 'n kopdoek op. She sits next to me. Yes, it's public. It's out there. You, Mitch, I'm going to your show. And jy stand up stage and you ask, hey, so Nev, so what are you sucking on these days? For example. What did you just say? Jay. So what are you sucking on these days? I see your woman has got a flat chest. Mitch, ek gaan vir jou bliksem.
Yeah, and I'll understand it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I will understand it.
Yeah.
I will understand you trying to defend your wife
Yes.
and your family. And I understand Will Smith defending his wife and his family. My problem is that award ceremonies, they have that stuff that go on, like, if you do this, these are the punishments you will get. This and this. But why isn't anything, like we're hearing here in the comment section, Chris Rock declined to file charges.
But it's his prerogative. He can decide if he wants to file charges or not.
And now the award show was supposed to say, Will, listen, you're banned. You're not going to get your Oscar because you went on stage and smacked our host. Kanye West was punished for that. And he didn't even smack or assault
Kanye
anybody.
West was punished how? Did they take his
didn't allow
award away?
No, he didn't win the award.
No, exactly.
Yeah. So
but how can you draw the same parallels?
They banned him from the awards.
They can ban they can ban Will Smith from next year's awards. They can do that.
It yet. They didn't do it yet.
Maybe it's still going to happen. You are preempting it.
I'm just saying, they should have said They should have put out a public statement saying, Will Smith has assaulted our host at our award show, and he will be dealt with accordingly. Alva, they say Will Smith was protecting his family. It's cool. It's a man thing, and I'm so happy that he did that.
Yeah, but he
you don't go
smacked
smack
a
somebody.
black man.
Yeah, you don't go smack somebody on stage and that's hosting.
Say it loud.
Yeah.
He went and and assaulted a black man.
Yeah.
It would have been better if he was smacking a white guy.
Yeah. I'm kidding. I'm just saying if he was gonna smack a white guy, he would have been like boom.
The police would have been there.
Yeah, he would have filed charges.
Purukutu.
The award, and we've seen this happen. The awards would have put out a statement saying that this and this happened. Will is probably not going to get his Oscar.
Okay.
Hulle moet met hom gedeal het, that's all wat ek sê.
Okay.
And so he knows, okay, that was a show, and this is a professional comedian, he was doing his job. This is a comedian, he was doing his job. So I understand he made a joke about the wife, he felt offended, he did what he had to do, and it's cool.
Ek dala me dala.
Yeah, dala yo dala.
Dala me dala.
I will defend you. Om te sê, ja man, jy het nonsens gepraat. Maar they must just keep the same energy with everybody.
Okay. Mutumba says, okay, your guest house issue there. Estomi says, Chris was not hosting Neville, he was a guest presenter. Okay, cool, I understand. Vanessa says, apparently if you are a big enough star, you can slap someone on live TV and casually sit down. America is amazing. Mutumba says, Chris wasn't even insensitive enough. Ricky Gervais went when he hosted the Golden Globes in 2020. Mitch het julle die laptop gekry. Weet jy Malume.
Malume bly net stil.
Ja.
As jy kan nog 'n windhoek Malume.
Laat hy gaan. Mitch regtig, moet jy altyd net verkeerde kant toe dink. Nie almal gebruik die kalle skien goed nie, sê Natalie. Estimate says Amy went for Leonardo DiCaprio's girlfriend, but did Leo slap her? No, he can't slap a woman. Rebel Wilson made fun of many at the BAFTA. Will was smiling at that joke, but when Jada was awkward and boom, reacted.
Yeah, he was laughing.
I think he was. I saw.
He was laughing.
I saw his face, but yeah, okay, it's debatable. Mutumba says. Mitch Gervais only hosted the Golden Globes, not Oscar. Chris didn't even press charges after the show. Jürgen Gesep sê ook so. Will could have said what he wanted while sitting. Will is emotional. He has slapped that photographer who kissed him. Yeah, I remember that incident also as to Mitch. Mitch regtig is klaar 'n blou maandag. Nee man. Natalie. Jürgen is. Does Mitch understand that Jada has an illness?
I do.
Praat Jürgen Gesep. Esto Mitch says Mitch is referring to the brotherhood in acting. Okay. Natalie sê hy dis daai kip. Jy word gejay so. Tangeni with the capital said, don't think the race card has a role to play here. Comedians usually tackle the sensitive issues. Jy moet sterk wees bos. Ricky Gervais made funny of Mel Gibson's drinking problem in 2020 at the Golden Globes. Mel laughed it off. Mitch, comedy is like music. Some might like it. Others will throw you with rotten tomatoes. Says Mutumba, they won't. I'm sure the ratings went crazy. Yeah, the ratings probably went.
Yeah, it went crazy.
Thank you very much for the content.
Yeah, thank you very much for the content.
Every YouTube blogger has that thing on.
Yeah.
The thumbnail of
You know,
Chris being smacked.
that's why I love Will Smith so much, because we all watched the movies Bad Boys.
Yes.
That is what came out there.
Yeah.
Hy het vir hom
Hy het hom geklap.
Hy het hom geklap dat sy snot sê brrr.
You could see it in Chris's eyes. My Christian's eyes.
Oh my Christian.
Almost Christian's eyes were tearing up. I'm like, oh, my Christian.
But did you hear the comment that Chris then did afterwards? He said, welcome to the biggest Oscar show in history.
Yeah. That's what he said. Yeah, it was kind of awkward for him because he really didn't know what to use. This live TV. How do I handle this?
He thought the guy was going to come say something to him, so he leaned in a bit. And that smack just came. He leaned in a bit because I probably thought that he was going to say something to him. Dat was geklap.
Kyk byvoorbeeld, many a times when, and Mitch, as a comedian, you probably had to also sit there or stand on stage, and you have to take a decision. What should I do now?
Yes.
There's an elephant in the room.
Yeah.
I remember when President Geinkop in 2014 just came back from Brazil, when that very iconic picture of him with a glass of wine with the Namibian oligarchs
Right.
that we talk about.
Right.
When they were sitting there, and there's this picture of them, and people were, kyk hoe lyk die Prime Minister, front page of the newspaper, die toppies gachwala, and wat, and all these kinds of things. And the moment he landed, he spoke to me because I was hosting an event where he's the guest speaker that night.
Right.
Here, now he's Prime Minister at the time, and he walks in. Now, I have to take a decision. Am I going to talk about this tonight or not? And you could feel, you could cut the atmosphere with a blunt knife, met 'n bottermes. Ek het gesê,
Bly weg.
nie vanaand nie.
Ja, nee.
I'll do it at another event. And people were like, come on, Neville, come on, say.
You can feel it.
Julle môre, ek sal nie.
I will be the one sitting down there with the whole problem
Now-
after that.
Now,
Yeah.
okay, being a comedian and also I think being a comedian is something, where you can find yourself in deep, hot waters if you overstep the line. But a good comedian comes as close to the line as possible without stepping over it. Okay, it's the same with radio and TV presenters. You have to get as close to it as you possibly can without stepping over it. And that is where the real art lies. And I think Chris overstepped the line.
Yeah. Okay, but as much as we can say, Chris, that was wrong, can we just pat the guy on the back a little bit about his professionalism and how he handled the situation? Imagine if Omegreshan also smacked back or something like that. It
Moeilijk
would
om
have
van
been-
twee kanten.
Yeah, so, maar
net altijd
Omegreshan
van
so
één kant.
geslaan was. Will is like buff and stuff. Omegreshan so die fight geflopt.
Wel sal hom geblits.
Ja, hy moet hom maar net
That would have
gesteek het.
been so much more fun if there would have been a little bit more retaliation.
Oh my-
But, I mean, at the Oscars, is there not a delayed viewing option where they could
Nee,
have just
meneer.
pressed the button and say,
Bliksem
no
is
way,
bliksem.
life is life.
And never to walk up to
Life is life. La 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 la.
Never. It would have taken the security team probably like 2 minutes to get to that stage.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's
What about-
rumble it
Now,
now.
we were Chris's bodyguards. And we were Will's bodyguards.
Guys, seriously,
Daai klap was baie hard.
Dit
Die
was-
bodyguard het miskien nog gesê, "Tag!"
even you see the way that Will walks to the stage. Is also, Will
Like
is
a
a funny guy, very casually. Probably go there and like,
Ja, hoe sê? Maar die kom slaan net.
hey,
He did it in style.
just play with the guy. I thought that's how it looked like. And Chris probably also thought the same thing. Ek speel nie grappe hierso nie. Purukutu. Yes.
No, that's what I'm saying. So Will never survive in Katutura at the Katutura bars and places because he would have to be defending his wife every single second. He will have to be doing every single minute. Hy sal leer. Dat was onze vrou mense ook enigheids gesê word. Dan sê ons moenie worry nie. Be the bigger man. Be the bigger.
Ek sal nie. I will
Mitch
not
daai
be the
ou het
big-
my gevloek en ons se sitplek gevat. Ek staan nie aan 'n sitplek nie by. Wil jy my sê hy sê aan 'n sitplek nie?
Keep my wife's name out of your mouth.
Mitch, die man het my op die sterre geslaan. Kom ons gaan klaar. Ons gaan klaar. Ek gaan klaar, Neville.
Nee. Mutatio Carson say, Mitch, calm down. People's reactions differ. That is why we don't say you made me angry, because that what triggers me may not make the next guy angry. By the way, Chris was a guest presenter and not a host. Will clap home. G.I. Jane was a great movie, by the way. Nah. Whatever. Mutumba.
He actually said
Kaloy Buchter, I thought it was a plain joke. No. I was clap. But how hard was the slap? Did it perhaps feel like a hug? That Chris didn't press charges, said Tangeni with the capital. Chris Rock got rocked. He didn't see that coming. He paused out of shock and soldiered on. Yep, he shouldered on. As to me, violence is never okay, said Vanessa. Criticism and jokes in poor taste are unfortunately part for the course in that industry. Does Will want to assault everyone that has something negative to say about Jada? Nee, hier vanaf vorentoe, nobody will say nothing about Jada in front of Will.
Yes.
Will Smith had it in Namibia geleer. Ai, elotse. So, hey, Kaloy.
August Alcina is saying it in front of him and in his music. So welkom gaan klap en nie vir August.
Maar that comeback for Chris was great. Did say, imagine if Chris was a Tamara from Groot.
Yes, hy's 'n warm gas.
Ja, kan. Guys, does Chris know that Jada has an illness fra Asino? I won't be surprised if it was a publicity stunt, maar Chris got slapped and acted like niks happened. Say Avondre, Avedi, to Will Smith and others like him, self-control is always necessary. The jokes can be scripted. The actors prepare them is event planner's job to go through it. Why did they approve that joke? As to me, I honestly don't think it was a joke. Because if that was, and I mean, let's see everything in context here.
Yes. Yes.
If we say this was scripted, this was a joke,
Exactly.
why would the guy go and apologize and pour out his emotions on stage? Apologizing to Chris, crying about it. Denzel Washington saying what he said.
Sure.
Come on.
Yes. It happened.
on.
It
It
is an
happened.
incident that happened. It can now be put behind us. A well-deserved smack.
And his whole speech was about protecting his family. He has been doing that. People have been saying stuff about his family because of what him and his wife decided in their personal life. So that couldn't be scripted.
It couldn't be scripted.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that when we performed in SA, the people asked us for our scripts.
Ne?
Yeah, so we had to sit together with them, and they will say, okay, you can talk about this and what. Don, award shows also do that. Aren't you supposed to give in your script like day before or week before, and they look through it and check, okay, does this drive the narrative that we want or not?
I have no idea.
Every joke is at the expense of someone or something. Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah.
In every joke, there's always a party or person or incident or whatever that is getting hurt by it.
And that's the fine line of.
Yes.
And Kijk, Mitch, I don't, and it's just me. I don't agree with insulting comedy.
Yeah,
Or what you call, is it dark comedy?
yeah, it's dark humor.
Dark humor. I don't even want to give it the energy or the oxygen for me. If I sit in an audience, or if I see somebody in an audience with a physical handicap, for example, and that's where it draws the line for me. Anybody who tries to make a joke about somebody else's physical handicaps,
Yes.
for example,
Yes.
does not have my respect.
Exactly.
I will not entertain you. I will not listen to you. I don't want to have anything to do with you.
Yes.
If you make jokes at the expense of somebody who sits in a wheelchair or
Terminal disease or
whatever.
Any disease.
Any disease. I remember after Tiger Wheel, word for me, Tiger Wheel, and that's what I wanted to say. After
Woods.
Tiger Woods' car crash about a year ago, people made an advert of him sitting in a wheelchair, with a Tiger Wheel and Tire logo next to it. And
A whole meme.
And that for me, you have no idea what somebody goes through physically.
And never, my thing is just, even if I don't agree with you, I won't respect you as a comedian, fellow comedian, but if that's your way, you want to do that, do that. And I feel comedy is kind of like, if you are going through it, it's okay for you to talk about it. Like, there's a handicapped comedian that was on America's Got Talent or something, and he was talking about his struggles as a handicapped guy. And it was funny.
Good for him.
Yeah, and he was talking about that, like, and letting people know that, no, it's not like he's dead or what. He can do some stuff.
Good for him.
And he was talking about it. Like, so if you're gay, you can go on stage and talk about it. It's okay.
Good for you.
Correctness. So I think it goes like that. If I'm Damara, I can make fun of Damara.
Yeah.
And Vambus. And, it just
good for
fits
you.
a little bit.
Good for you.
If you are going through that, or if you're part of that particular group. So,
but you need to manage that narrative because it's
very
you.
well. Yeah, you
It's
must
you.
manage. You
But
should
you
know.
can't sit there and think that somebody who sits in a wheelchair in your audience would be cool if you make jokes about somebody. That doesn't. But anyway, a few more comments and then we're gonna move on to the next. We'll obviously for the rest of the day we'll watch the media for memes.
Yes, it's going to
and
come.
jokes, and probably Legal Shield would probably have something to do or to say about this little
But
incident.
Will has been crying for so long. Die man heel net in die verhouding. Die man moet uit die verhouding. Never talk to Will. Let him get out. Will has been crying for years. It's now, praat met julle se praat. Julle is omtrent 50.
Yeah,
It's his last will.
it's his last one.
And that's a toxic relationship. That one you can just see it in the guy's eyes. They had the red table or what?
Yeah,
red table.
red table.
And you could see Will, the man hail.
Cleaning Tlovu, thanks Estomich for the correction, but still you remember how Demi Moore looked in that film and the characterization thereafter of that character. That's why he said he can't wait for G.I. Jane 2. Maris Friedrich said, that's what we call emotional intelligence. It's the art of conversation to sometimes not say something, even how tempted you are to say it. Okay? Die braai het 'n Oscar gewen. Hoekom worry hy oor Chris Rock se unscrupulous jokes? Sê Raymond, he never apologized to Chris. He apologized to the audience and the Academy. Chris kan gaan pipi en slap. Sê Rovier. Scripted, I meant whatever these actors say on the show, they write down the jokes. That's why there were limits to what they can say about the Ukrainian war. Never. Okay. He didn't apologize to Chris though. Also, Willie's a very good actor and he can't just tell if the speech was genuine or an act. Say Vedi, there was so much wrong about this moment. Why didn't the Academy have Will escorted by security after assaulting Chris? Instead, they gave him an Oscar award and allowed him to scapegoat his actions.
Do you know what is eerily silent here? Are the Oscars themselves. Have you noticed this incident? Let's say now between Will and Chris, and everybody is like, but an entity that is eerily silent of all of this are the Oscars. The I'm talking about the event owners.
Yeah.
You know, why are they so silent about this? This must have been
Mitch, he spoke about it a little bit earlier. He was asking the same question. Yeah, but we will have to wait and see. Maybe that will be that will come to a fore.
Sure.
Avondre Karuhumba, guys, Peter Shalulile made history by breaking Mamelodi Sundowns scoring record with 20 goals. Peter Shalulile, you know, as much as I'm not a Sundown supporter, but this is a Namibian plying his trade in Mzansi, and he keeps our country's name
high.
on a high. And we will touch a little bit also on another excellent sporting happening as a Namibian that happened this past weekend in sport. And we'll touch on that. Denzel said to Will that be careful when you're at your highest point, because that's when the devil uses you. That's what Diom Chimsizzle says. Let's talk about the amusement park. The 40-year-old who tragically died because his seat harness was not properly attached. Really heartbreaking. At the workers standing there after the fall. Sure, Estomich. That's sad, eh?
Imagine you being that worker that didn't.
That's really sad.
That's just terrible.
Yeah. So in other news, as we say, we have a new hero in sport. We have produced the Christine Bomas and the Masilingis, the Harry Simons, etc. We have a new kid on the block. Namibia's Jeremiah Nakatila Berchelt with a 6th round TKO in Las Vegas on Saturday. What a fight. And Jeremiah, the little that I know of boxing, I think I know everything about boxing. But if there's one thing that is very clear when it comes to boxing is, if you get into a ring with a Mexican fighter, you will be kept busy the whole night.
Yes.
Because Mexican fighters are
They've got this endurance.
Tough as nails.
And they don't stop.
They don't stop.
Canelo is just one example.
Canelo.
And I think one of the guys that went retired with no losses is also a Mexican. I just forgot
It's
it.
Junior Chavez. Chavez.
Mayweather has been always referencing to him.
Chavez. They were together the other day, and I saw a video of them. Somebody was like, "Hey, so both of you are on an O, no losses. Don't you guys want to fight?" But obviously, Chavez is way older. Chavez is like over 60.
Your boxing life is only that long, isn't it?
It's only that
But
long.
would you do that? Would you
Do what?
box?
No,
Do
I
that as a
don't.
sport.
I don't like to get hurt. I lost my last fight at school. Ek is gebliksem. Sander 7. So please, fighting is not for me.
I lost against the lesbian in that bar fight.
Kaufi can
So
never
I'm not
forget.
boxing
He's
anybody.
always mentioning that lesbian loss. You got an L from an L. You took an L from an L, actually.
Shut up!
But
Shut up!
how do you explain that losing against a woman?
So right.
Maar daar is charity wat kan feestland.
Ja, dat
And
kan
let me just
feestland.
be honest.
Hulle kan Friesland.
Ik had in 2 verhoudings geflopt. Like, I really lost that fight. Like, I tried fighting back.
In 'n verhouding.
Yeah, and I lost that fight.
Okay, Mitch.
I remember I still called one of my comedian friends, Tap, to come pick me up.
So, in other news, okay, sad thing that happened in Henties Bay.
Yes.
I'm not that. Ja, die hele spaar het afgebrand. Okay, so the $25 million worth of damage.
Yeah.
In Henties Bay, a spar that completely burned down.
Do I have this correct, that the fire originated out of a chips fryer that wasn't turned off? That is what I heard. I cannot confirm that, but there's rumor around that somebody forgot to switch off the oil
The deep
fryer.
fryer,
Yes.
I see.
Yes.
Okay.
But you've got to remember also, Neville, by all means, we're referring to this as the spa has burned down. We've all seen the video footage of the damage. But there are businesses around it that have also now suffered.
Yeah, my groot probleem is when I saw the video, ek meen Tops is net langs aan.
Just imagine that.
So die hele
Imagine if
drank.
the tops burned down.
Nee, Tops burned down
Ach,
too.
no.
Why are you
That
guys
is so
concerned
sad.
about tops?
No, man, that's so sad. That's sadder than spa.
Ja.
Nee, man.
Dit is
Tops. Het tops af.
Ek het gaan kyk die video weer. You can.
Never know wat as woerman brok wat spaar se man is opstaan en vir jou kom klap nou.
Tops het afgebrand.
My broer, ek sien so. I saw some shades of tops. I mean, through the flames. Ek sê, Here, daar brand tops ook saam met Spar. Because, I mean, it's part of the franchise. If you have a Spar,
Sure,
then you obviously have a tops next to it. Okay? So, it was inevitable that that would
But they
happen.
must just put in more preventative measures at tops shops like Tops. Like spaar kan brand. That's what julle wil sê nou.
That's
Maar
no, it's
nie
easier
tops
said
nie.
than done.
Yeah, no, it's
You've
easy.
got to remember the ceilings. Once the ceilings start burning, everywhere where that ceiling drops on, carries on burning.
Ja, en van is hout mos.
Yeah, the ceilings word ons uit daai ander goed uitgemaak. That other stuff.
It's very flammable.
Yes. So as it melts, as it drops onto the floor or the ground or whatever it is, it just carries on burning.
En ek dink ook, if you say, we're talking about a chips deep fryer here.
Yes.
So there's a lot of oil.
Atta.
En as daai ding vlam vat.
Don't pour water on it.
Ja. Daar brand hy eers. Very interesting. Sincerely hope that going forward, the insurance will obviously sort out the situation. Guys, I hope that we can have our Justice Minister in studio soon. Because there are some of the stuff I remember that we wanted to discuss with her in terms of sentencing, etc., etc. What did we speak about? I think a few weeks ago we did speak that we want to get Justice Minister Yvonne Dausap in studio because we wanted to speak about, I think Mitch Kofi, we had a discussion about the differences of periods of sentencing.
Yes.
Okay, and that's what we've discussed a few weeks ago. And then the minister lost her father in the meantime, so we couldn't get her into the studio. But what is interesting here is a news story in one of the dailies that says government has been advised to consider amending the necessary laws in order to protect defaulting homeowners from potential abuse by mortgage lenders. Some homeowners also want the authorities to impose a moratorium and subsequent amendment of rules in the execution of judgment realm through statutory legislation, as more people have been losing their primary homes at the hands of commercial banks. This is very interesting, I must say. The Ministry of Justice last week held consultations with the public about the sale of immovable properties in the execution of judgment. Former magistrate Leah Shanika, who spoke on behalf of the Black Leadership Network of Namibia, said there is a need for moratorium and subsequent amendments of the rules, as most of the laws are not in favor of the majority black people. We need to stop attacking the commercial banks. Although they are abusing and humiliating us, the homeowners, during the execution of judgment, we need to change our laws for them to speak to our situation. The statement, she stated, some homeowners claimed that homes are easily repossessed, although owners may have a long history of honoring monthly repayments. Wow. So, I think during COVID, and I think in the last two and a half years, we've had a situation where a lot of people could not pay their mortgages
Yes.
because of a lack of income. Now, you have a home loan with a specific financial institution,
Right.
the different banks.
Okay.
They want their money. You have the house. So many a times the banks would then come for you because you can't pay for your house anymore. So what do you guys think? Is it morally correct if a bank comes and repossess your house, the roof that you are staying under? Who's right and who's wrong here? What's the moral equilibrium that we need to take here?
Oh, Hazel is net duur.
Okay, but yes, I hear what you say. But we need to But we need to have an understanding now that you have an obligation towards the bank, but because of economic conditions, I can't pay for the house now. I just can't. So what do we do? That's the issue.
Let's first say,
Okay, so remember when we had the second lockdown last year?
Yes.
Everybody was highly concerned about that. There were a lot of people that
Yeah.
lost their jobs.
Yeah.
A lot of people that were retrenched.
Yes.
A lot of people that were unable to pay for their homes.
Yeah.
But everybody was saying, what they're going to do? Take everybody's house away. Do you understand? It is in the bank's interest, yes, to recoup its monies.
Yes.
But it's also in the bank's interest to not throw the people out, to actually try and renegotiate and recalculate and rather keep that person in this family in the house.
Yeah.
But get to some point of being able to recalculate the
Yeah.
original finance terms.
Yeah.
In order to ensure, because what's the bank going to do? If they throw out all these people, then they're going to sit with houses that are empty, with all their losses anyway.
Because that's the point, Mitch.
Exactly.
What we're
and I
trying to say.
understand, but them taking the house away from you, they sit with a house they can sell on the market
To who?
again.
To who?
To who? Because no one can afford it. They're
That-
shooting
that's
themselves in the
that's,
foot.
that's the problem.
These finance terms
It's just
are
unfair, man.
too high. They are
Yeah.
being done, although the bank knows from the onset
You can't afford it.
you won't be able to stick to these terms.
And it's
But you need a house.
You need a house.
it's almost like there's countries that give out loans to African countries, knowing that damn well we won't be able to pay this
afford
back.
it.
It's almost the same situation, and then you get looted, and
Neville.
the people just start taking your resources, and you can't do nothing about it.
And you've got to remember the house prices in Namibia, they are not real. For all these years, they've been growing at between 8 and 10% per annum.
I think that's very that's even very
and what-
conservative.
What has happened, Neville, that through this, let's say, call it a staged economy, we are now seeing that developers are going bankrupt. Even big places, there's big schemes of housing estates and whatever. I mean, we know exactly what's happening at Omea. You understand? So now what has happened is that we are sitting in this situation where it's a plastic economy. It's being created. It's not a real value economy in terms of housing.
Yeah, it's and that's the bubble that we feared for the longest time. It's gonna burst.
Yes.
Because when you said when you talked about 10%, 8 to 10% growth, that was very that was very conservative. There were years that the values of properties grew with 20-25%. And where are we now? Now we sit with a situation where the values of homes dropped with massive amounts, up to 35% values that people have lost in their homes.
Yes.
And now you sit with a situation people can't afford to pay their houses.
Yes.
And now, like we say, your house are being repossessed by the bank. Now your house goes to auction engineer. What do they call these guys?
These auctioneers.
These auctioneers. My house is worth $5 million. I owe the bank
$100,000.
$4 million. I owe the bank $4 million. There's $1 million discrepancy. Who can afford to buy my house
At 5 million.
at $5 million on an auction? There's less money in the country. Who is liquid? There's not a lot of people who are liquid. Bring net my huis terug
That's waar.
and renegotiate with me what I can pay you back.
Exactly, because the banks are the only entities that can't lose. Have you noticed? The
They
banks
just
can't
lose
lose.
interest.
Can't lose.
They will finance it in such a way that the banks will never lose.
The whole system of a bank is just like a robber shanty to me.
It's wrong.
A bank, I don't even think banks were started from people's money. Like you basically, it's not just
opium.
your oma. Ja, soos net jy sê ouma hou van my hierdie R500 en jou ouma sê jou elke keer as jy dat R10 kom vat van hierdie R500 af, dat charge ek jou 5 cent. Dis basies dat jy word goede gecharge op jou eie geld wat jy terugsoek. So die bank sê julle ding is net 'n rob ding vir my. Ek trust nie banke nie.
But what are you going to do?
I am so happy for the Chinese guys that found a way, because I've never seen a Chinese in a bank.
Because all the tallest buildings in all our cities and towns are banks and insurance companies.
It's banks and insurance
Why
companies.
do they always have to have these big, huge buildings?
And it looks
En
like...
onnodig.
It's and that's the thing. We've always seen banks as these institutions that you need to fear and you need to respect.
Yes.
And you should not. You should conform to how they do.
And how
things.
dare you ask for a loan? How dare you ask us for a loan? What kind of low life are you? Yeah.
And I completely forgot. If you see these high-rising buildings, I mean that banks are building, for the longest time you forget that it's actually your money.
Exactly. And in the old days,
Do it with your money.
in the old days, remember, we still had building societies. Why are we not having building societies anymore? Why is
How did the building society work out for you?
Well, you know, the old ones, I'm just calling a couple. I think it was SA Perm, which then later on changed into Swabo. Oh, okay.
So just try to summarize.
That comment is not going to make you top cheater of the week.
You only 15 minutes into it, just make it 10 minutes.
How far is our battery? For how long can we still do the show?
You get 10 minutes. So you can end the show
Okay.
by listening to
So we got roughly 10 minutes to go. Then the battery runs out. Okay. Sorry, ek moet hierdie man het iets. You tried to explain something, Koffie.
Okay, so in other words, you know, where you could approach a building society, because the building societies, they made it financially possible for you to go and build yourself a house. Okay, but then that was all taken away. Then all of that went to the banks. Remember, Swabo then changed to FNB. You understand? But because my mother used to work for Swabo, she was the manager at Swabo in Tsumeb. And these building societies, you could actually go to these building societies and approach them for a housing loan, and they would go step by step, hand in hand with you to go and build yourself a house. But now, no, you just have to go to the bank and they just fill in forms and what, and then they kind of
They
make the
charge
money
you.
available or not.
They charge you way too much.
Very interesting comment here by Rovera. Banks are thieves. Talk about FNB charging people double. The guy that sends an e-wallet gets charged and the person receiving the e-wallet gets charged. Plus, you need to have at least $10 credit on your phone to be able to request a PIN. FNB is a groot botch. Kom weg daar. Now, I thought for the longest time, guys, not obviously to talk about other banks, but I mean, it is a social issue here that we need to be what Ro is mentioning here. So, I thought if I send you an e-wallet, Mitch, that me who is sending the e-wallet, I pay the $10. So they also deduct $10 from the person who receives the money.
Yep, and if you withdraw it, you also get charged.
Yeah. Now what
It's
kind
a
of
monopoly.
yo?
And you've got to remember, it's only electronic process. No staff member of the bank got involved in that transaction. It's only IT. They're making millions, man.
And look at this, Neville. When a bank takes your money, or by mistake with withdraws or double charge you or anything, you need to go through all these processes to just get your money back. And it's like you can say whatever you want to that bank. They're gonna send you through to this manager, that manager. You must wait till when. So Mara, you owe them, and this I'll see this I'll work. Why? Why can't we also keep them accountable? The same process as, okay, you sent money in my account by mistake, $1 million now. And I start using that money, then I must also tell you first.
Talking about that, what do banks do? What's my responsibility if a bank by mistake deposits $1 million in my bank account and I start using it? Is it?
They'll open a case. You'll have to pay it back.
I have to pay it back.
You will have to pay it back.
Yes, because the money is in your account, and it is very clear that it is not your money. You haven't earned it. You haven't received it, let's say, from a family member. You cannot recall. So now what you do is you just go and help yourself to this money. Obviously, it's a mistake. You will be held accountable. You can't just use that money just because it's been paid, falsely paid into your account.
Okay, what if I didn't know? I didn't check my balance. I just went to go.
Oh, come on. I mean, let's say, for example, you get now 20 million in your account. Now you go say, oh, I didn't check my balance. I bought myself a house. I bought myself a Porsche.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, guys. I just didn't catch. I just didn't check my balance.
Nee, my geld is my geld.
You kry mos 'n
My
SMS.
bank account is my bank account.
You can say you have amnesia. Or
You
something.
get an SMS.
Yeah.
You get an SMS.
No, I didn't see that SMS.
Die gekry nie.
Ek het nie die SMS gekry nie.
Ek het die gekry nie.
How will the bank be able to prove we send you an SMS?
That is why cryptocurrency is the future. Remove the bank and integrate. Maria. Jelle met Jelle se cryptocurrencies.
As Maria work a Bitcoin.
It sounds like it. Maria, are you also doing Bitcoin? The horror stories just in the last 6 months of cryptocurrency.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
No,
And
not true.
What I'm trying to say, why I brought that story up is there is a lady that, like in America, the bank actually deposited $5 million in her account, and she went to go buy herself a house and car, and she took out the whole money from the bank, and the money was there in her account for like 5 days. She checked. She's like, no, but the bank is not saying anything. And she got a lawyer, and they're fighting the case.
And this issue, Mutumba, I remember this specific case. This was in the media. The South African girl, money was mistakenly paid into her account. Hey! Pambili! Say it vorentoe gegaan, jong. Say it, ga shop until you drop. Maria says, let me tell you something. Until you start using it, you don't know how amazing it actually is. I was as much a skeptic as you. Oh, so Ronnie Canalelo got to you.
Yeah.
Ronnie convinced you over this nonsense.
But Ronnie was lying in his bed with all his money, wasn't he? All the cash.
No, but can you buy with Bitcoin?
I don't know. I don't know how it works.
In Europe, you can.
Ne?
Yeah, they are establishments that only accept Bitcoin or crypto.
Ne? Bankers finance most projects across all sectors, and they sit with the most data, so scrutinize the casual relationships. There too, with most of the influential cross-industry sector players or influencers, it will take some serious shake-ups of the current models, really. This is what Trini says. That's why I mentioned VIPs now, before here. It's an app through the bank here. You send and receive money for free. All you need is data or Wi-Fi. Excuse me. Send money for free. There's nothing in life that's for free. Sorry. Glo nie hy storie nie. Maar trust banking is the best banking.
Asseblief.
Sê
Asseblief.
Sit hom onder die bed.
Sit hom onder die.
Of bank in the entity.
No, oh yeah,
Did you guys see that video of these politicians eating dinner or lunch there in Dubai?
Yeah. Gold up in my hands.
Did you guys see that video?
Maar hoeveel jullie die onze ministers moet eet?
With golden spoons and golden forks and golden knives.
En dan wat jullie wil hê onze ministers moet swak gaan lyk in Dubai.
I mean, they
No.
could have just sent one minister.
No, what's wrong with it? Our ministers not eat with fork and knives?
Can I just take you back to the independence celebrations in Swakopmund?
Yeah,
All right.
is it? Okay. Die man sê die
Is
battery
is
is klaar.
All right, but now I
Shines.
still wanted to do the
Ach,
coronavirus cases and the weather. Bania. I'm not allowed to do that.
Shine
Guys.
is harmonizing your Yubudi.
Yeah.
It's science.
Guys, we've come to the end of our show. We have a shortened version of the morning mix this morning of Informanté Live.
It's only 10 minutes shorter.
It's only 10 minutes shorter. Oh yeah, the opulence, Trini. The
Yes.
opulence, the decadence we're talking
Leave them
about.
with a statement.
Huh?
Leave them with a statement regarding Chris Rock and
No, you come leave them with a statement. Shine. Nee, fuck, kom praat. Nee, ek sal nie. I'm not talking.
If this is how Will gets mad in March, imagine how pissed it will be in August.
Oh my. Iemand het hier zo gezegd, mos, come on. So Will Smith relationship cannot accept jokes, but August. Oh my kid, man.
The boy's name was August, eh? Aha.
That lady, she used that boy.
Yeah. Coffee, the weather and corona cases is a plague like the Namibian GRN eating in Dubai.
Yes.
Says Mohalsi Poli. Never would need a whole sit down in order to get anything crypto. That's just how it is with me, Bradley Kuviseb. Guys, we've come to the end of our show.
Sharp, sharp.
And you know, guys, we have to say sometimes we do give you 10 more minutes on other days.
Yeah.
Yes.
So apologies.
Kom ons blame now.
Ja, kom ons bly na hierdie week of vandag. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. I will not be in tomorrow. Yeah, so but enjoy your day, guys. Have a blessed Monday. Sharp.
Sharp.